Hey, Dave here with Saddleback Leather, and here we have my beautiful, amazing hot wife Suzette, and we have Dr. Emerson Eggerichs, the author of Love and Respect. And this book, in case you didn't catch it on the last one, is one of the best-selling marriage books that there is in the world, and it's in all these different languages, and sports teams have brought him in to speak with the whole group, and he's spoken to hundreds of thousands of people around in conferences and that sort of thing. And my wife and I picked it up, and our marriage was really rough and fixed. For the most part, fixed. She still has a lot of work, but we're working on it.
We're working on it.
We're
It's
working
really
on
an
it.
intervention.
Really an intervention.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's going to share with us just some tips that some things you can apply today, if you're a husband or a wife, that will improve your relationships or your marriage. And so, you have a tip for us today?
I do. It is a tip. It's not the answer to everything, but we take the position that from research, University of Washington studied 2,000 couples for 20 years, and they said we now know the two key ingredients for successful marriages. And it's love and respect. Love and respect. And they also got gender specific, that women lean on the love side because she can feel that some of the things he does is kind of like an act of hostility, they found. And men lean on the respect side because women have a tendency, they say, to critique and because they care, but that ends up, that ongoing criticism, feeling like contempt. So he feels disrespected, she can feel unloved when there's conflict. And so the question that I've often asked is, well, why is it that we often negatively react to each other? I mean, we married each other. If anybody should be the perfect allies, it should be, when I married Sarah many years ago, my wife, I didn't say, I hate you and you hate me, so let's get married. It doesn't go down that way. So how is it that we get into these difficult moments? And the question is, why do we negatively react? Well, there could be many reasons for that, but if the University of Washington is correct, then quite often at these moments of heated fellowship, as I call it, she tends to be feeling unloved at that moment, even though you can feel disrespected. But if he shows you disrespect on an ongoing basis, women have said, how can you say you love me and treat me disrespectfully? Whereas most men tend to be assured of a wife's love. You say to, hey, Dave, does your wife love you? Oh, yeah. Does she like you? No, not today. So we tend to land a little bit on the respect side. And we've asked 7,000 people this question: when you're in conflict with your spouse, do you feel unloved at that moment or disrespected? And 83% of the men said disrespected, 72% of the women say unloved. So now, given that's the case, it leads to what we call the crazy cycle. Without love, she has a tendency to react, and here's that key point, in a way that feels disrespectful. And when a man feels disrespected, he tends to react in a way that feels unloving. And he's not trying to be unloving. 85% of those who stonewall is the male. He just shuts down because we're trying to calm ourselves down. That's an honorable thing to do among men because we're warriors and we could hurt each other, so we just say, drop it, forget it. In the culture of intimacy, it's the epitome of lack of love.
Right.
You can't imagine that. Okay? And also, women want to move toward the husband to connect. Mm-hmm. And so if we're upset, let's talk about it, let's vent. But all the researchers, clinicians watching, she's critical, she's complaining, she's critical, she's complaining. And that's, apart from political correctness, but she does because she cares. He tries to shut down the honorable thing, let's disengage, let's, drop it here for a moment because I need to calm down. She's moving toward it because it's the loving thing to do. We don't disconnect, you don't just walk away. Okay. But what happens is that stonewalling feels unloving to you.
Yeah.
And the criticism feels disrespectful to you. But the painful thing is you're trying to do the honorable thing and you're trying to do the loving thing. So here you're doing the loving thing only to be told you're disrespectful, perhaps. You're trying to do the honorable thing and she says you're unloving. And then this thing spins because now you can see what happens. So a tip for the day is all of us have to come to a point of decoding whether or not, and here's the point I want you to take away today, is this person a good-willed person or not? Did you really marry Hitler's distant cousin? Or are they really evil-willed? Is this person you married really ill-willed? Or at the end of the day, if I was sitting down with you personally and I said, does your spouse have goodwill or not? Almost everybody says, no, she's a good-willed woman. Yeah, he's a good-willed man. But during these moments of heated fellowship, when we get on that crazy cycle, it's like it doesn't feel that way at that moment. It's kind of like he's unloving. Well, she's disrespectful, and I don't deserve the lack of love. I don't deserve the disrespect. So the mature person at that moment or subsequent has to reframe this and say, you know what? Even though I'm mad at him, I don't like him right now, we don't want to talk or we do whatever, I'm not going to make the decision that she is a disrespectful, ill-willed woman. I'm not going to go there because it's not true. And I'm not going to say he's an unloving, ill-willed man, because he's not, and that would be untrue. So however we resolve the issue, we're not going to judge their spirit as unloving or disrespectful, even though I feel unloved or disrespected. And a mature person does not violate that. Even though we want to accuse, we don't go that far. We may say, what you did hurt me, what you did felt unloving, what you did felt disrespectful, but I'm never, ever going to say, you are an unloving human being, you're despicable. Yeah, well, you're a witch, and I got you a new broom, and it's in leather.
Thank goodness you don't say that.
That's exactly right. Mature people draw that line, because if you don't, you're just going to spin on that crazy cycle out of control. And people always say, well, who moves first on that when we're at that moment of heated fellowship? And the answer is the one who sees himself or herself as the most mature moves first. And we know we're married to a childish person, so we're the mature ones. We move first. Does this make sense?
It makes sense.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank
So,
you.
so you know, as you're going to buy a gift, whether it's a Father's Day or a Mother's Day, or a Valentine's birthday, that sort of thing, Christmas, I would suggest that before you buy anything of leather or anything of Love 41, anything Saddleback, anything, buy a book. Buy the Love and Respect book. You'll find it everywhere and anywhere. It's on Kindle. You could even download the whole video series and stream it and watch it in bed. You can wrap your iPad up or tablet or whatever, put it in a little bag or a little box and give it to them for their birthday or whatever. Hop in bed, you give it to them, they open it up and they go, "Oh, you got me my iPad. That's nice." And you go, "Well, turn it on." You turn it on and you hit play. It's all queued up there. That'd be super cool. And a bed is a good place to watch this stuff. I'll tell you that. Anyway, so yeah, there you go. I wanted to thank Dr. Eggerichs for coming on with us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.